Good morning, Sydney. Can you guys hear me in the audience? Just raise your hand. Excellent. Hi, and welcome to Sydney World Tour. My name's Mercedes McAndrew. I'm on the Service Cloud product marketing team here at Salesforce. And this is my first time to Australia, so I'm super excited to be kicking things off bright and early here today with all of you. We have an amazing session today. We're going to talk a little bit about digital engagement. We're going to talk about bots. But we also have not one, but two amazing speakers joining us today. We have a customer of ours, Josh Teichman from Monash University. He's going to talk a little bit about how Monash is innovating on digital channels and empowering their organization and their students. And we also have a partner joining us today, Tamir Garsberg from GRONADE. He's going to talk about how you can do more with AI and a little bit about the challenges you face with bots. And he's also going to talk a little bit about the great success we had partnering with him at this past Dreamforce, helping us to make our bot much smarter from the beginning to the end of Dreamforce. So let's jump into it. Very exciting slide here. Salesforce is a publicly traded company. Please make your purchasing decisions based on what is currently available today. Always love to start with a great big thank you. Thank you so much for coming out today, for trusting in us, for partnering with us. You know, this is a great opportunity for us to talk to customers, to prospects and partners. We want to hear all the great things that you're doing with the product, where you're finding wins. We also want to hear about your challenges. We want to hear it all. So thank you so much for being here with us today. So as you all well know, we live in a world where it's easier than ever to find information simply by going online. I, like many consumers, will oftentimes just grab my mobile phone and head on over to Google. From there, I can really begin this search as I'm guided to different websites to find what I need. And then when I land on the website that I think is going to get me the best answer, that's where I begin this very important journey. This is the journey that's ultimately going to affect whether I have a positive or negative outcome by the end of it. Let me give you an example. So I live in the States, and I live in a time right now where it's winter, and I was going to be going on a recent ski trip. So I wanted to find some winter boots to take with me for the weekend. I jump online, I find a site that's got a few different boots that I like. This is great. However, I am a total last-minute shopper, and I know that there's no way I'm going to get these boots shipped to me in time. And I don't really want to pay for the expedited shipping. I need to know if I can find these boots somewhere local to me that I can just go to the store and pick them up and have them for my weekend trip. Well, lucky for me, the site that I'm on has the option to message them for support. So that's exactly what I do. This is my preferred channel of choice. I don't like talking to customer support. So I tap on the messaging button, and I'm greeted by a bot, and instantly I'm popped into my phone's native SMS app. Now the bot is quick to try to help me, but again, I need to know if I can find these boots somewhere local to me. So I type in my text and hit send. The bot immediately recognizes that I need more help, and then it seamlessly transfers me to an agent who then gives me 5 to 6 stores that I can then go find these boots to take on my trip. This is amazing, because 1, I got my answer. 2, I got it super fast in like 1 minute and 45 seconds. And 3, I got it on the channel of my preferred choice. But while SMS is my preferred channel, it's just one of the many channels that customers are leveraging today to contact support. You know, remember when it used to be so simple when customers had only a couple channels? They could either call you or email you. It was pretty straightforward and you were in control. Today, so many more channels, right? And customers are expecting a consistent and seamless service experience across each and every one of these channels. The problem is it's really hard to deliver this consistent and personalized service across each and every one of these channels, especially when customers on average are leveraging 10 different channels to communicate with the companies that they do business with. How do you keep up with all of these growing channels and meet these rising expectations of your customers? Well, this is where the #1 service platform comes into play. With Service Cloud's native solutions like digital engagement and Einstein bots, our AI-powered chatbots, companies can innovate with the latest channels and get up and running quickly. Service Cloud transforms the customer and employee experience to deliver customer success on a connected service platform powered by AI, automation, and integration. And Service Cloud empowers every service employee from the contact center to the field with integrated tools, innovative data, and embedded ongoing training so you can deliver this world-class service today and in the future. Okay, So customers come to your site. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to try to help themselves, right? 81% of customers prefer to self-serve. But if they come to your site and they can't self-serve, give them the option for real-time support, powered by either a chatbot or a live agent. Or if they like to hang out on the messaging channels, meet them there and give them the option for in-app support, powered by either on SMS, Facebook Messenger, WeChat, and WhatsApp. Digital engagement is really empowering companies to deliver a personalized and transformative service experience regardless of the channel or device. Okay, so you've got your channels. Bots are here now to enhance every interaction. And the best part, once you build the bot, you can then deploy that same framework across digital channels as they become bot ready and leverage your business processes and CRM data. And once you've automated all of those simple routine tasks with the bot, you can then seamlessly transfer to an agent with the right skill set at the right time using omnichannel skills-based routing. Okay, so you're ready to implement your bots. Now, this does not have to be a daunting process. In fact, we recommend this phased approach. Step one is to perform your channel check, determine where your customers live, and then put the bots in. Step two, you want to identify the intents and define the FAQ that you want the bots to handle. Step three, you're going to configure that bot and prepare it to start answering customer questions or take actions in Salesforce, or define the criteria that it needs to then transfer over to your agent. In step four, you definitely want to be tracking that bot's performance and see how it's measuring against your KPIs, such as average handle time and case deflection. And then in step five, you want to continue to optimize and expand on the bot's capabilities across digital channels so you can create more efficiency and deliver a greater service seamless experience. So, okay, on that note, I want to bring up to the stage our customer Josh Teichman along with my colleague Paul Baptiste, talk a little bit about the success that Josh is having at Monash. Welcome.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. And everyone, thank you so much to Josh for spending time with us as well. One of the really cool things about Monash, and I'm not sure if you know them, but I know them intimately because that's where I actually went to school 3 years ago. Maybe a little bit more than 3. But, you know, Josh, just for people who may not necessarily know much about Monash, maybe can you tell us a little bit about who Monash are as a university? I think we all know about them. But who Monash are, where they're placed, and then just as importantly, what you do at Monash and what you and your team have been able to kind of achieve and what your goals are.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Paul. Great to be back here with you. So Monash is one of the group of 8 universities. We have about 80,000 odd students, nearly 20,000 staff. In terms of our global reach, we have campuses in South Africa and China and Malaysia, centre in Italy. So I lead the digital portfolio for the university, and that encompasses everything from UX design, experience design, right through to digital engineering, and a new group, which I'm going to talk to you about today in terms of their experimentation.
Wonderful. Now, I get the chance to meet a lot of different customers across Asia Pacific, across Australia, New Zealand, and oftentimes people say like, you know, hey, we tend not to do digital that much because either it's really difficult or you know most people talk to us on email and so on. You've literally made your career out of digital. Why? I mean, like, why should we do this? Why should we take this seriously? Because you clearly have.
Yeah, look, I mean, at Monash, we don't have a choice. Our target customers are millennials. They're the alphas. If we do not evolve how we're engaging with them, then they're not going to come in and walk in anymore. They're not going to pick up the phone to us. They want service straight away on any channel, whether it's about their exams, whether it's about they need counselling support. We have students that live on campus. They want access to support 24/7, right? So we have to evolve. We don't have a choice.
Absolutely. I was doing a little bit of an event yesterday, and I cheekily asked the audience. I just kind of said, so I'm going to ask you guys the same question. How many of you are less than 30 years old? Yeah, that's like 25 people. And most of the time, those of us who are making decisions on digital are not in this age group, and I think we just kind of need to understand a little bit that the people who are the millennials who are looking for new channels and so on really actually just want to be able to communicate on the channel that they want. By the way, just not to leave everyone else out, my mom's 70 and she actually only talks to me on Messenger. She hasn't called me in 8 years. I'm just saying maybe that just makes me a bad child. I don't know. Anyway, so I know that I saw on LinkedIn that you guys had a super exciting announcement.
Yeah.
But before we talk, yes, so maybe tell us about something that happened yesterday, because I think that's super exciting.
Yeah. No, look, we are super excited to be the first organisation to have launched Apple Business Chat on the Salesforce platform. So we launched yesterday. We've gone live to all of our students. They can now engage with us over a native iMessage conversation for iOS users. And we've picked a use case that can be quite confronting for students. So this is a student who, for example, needs a loan and needs financial assistance. And so they can now request that financial assistance through the iMessage platform. They don't have to come in. It can be quite a confronting ask that they need to bring in paperwork. And they can do all of that now through the chat platform straight away. They can book in an appointment, they can come in and see us. It's all native, and it means that they're doing it in the privacy and security of their own device. And then we'll be rolling this out across non-iOS users as well soon.
I really, really like that because, you know, I remember being in uni and sometimes you kind of get a little bit short. You don't want to go to mom and dad to go and get help, or you can't. And so therefore, this is kind of a really nice way for me to engage with you guys. I think like the fact that you guys do things like this might be a reason why I saw that there was another announcement last week sometime that you guys, well, tell us about that. I won't steal your thunder.
Yeah, so look, we have a new group that we've spun up this year. It's called our experimentation group, and we do a series of very high velocity experiments. And where we've been focusing the most is in our chatbot space. So we have a labs group. And we do very targeted experiments with each of our chatbots where we prove out a very specific capability. So it could be handoffs to a live agent, it could be identity verification, it could be sharing knowledge articles, etc. There's a range of different things. Each experiment lasts about a week, 2 weeks. We prove out the technical feasibility of that experiment, and then we industrialize it. We turn it into something that we can then deploy across the range of chatbots across the organization. We have customer service chatbots, we have study bots for students, we have a range of different bots, and last week, I'm really pleased to share that our contact center was awarded Best in Class 2019 Contact Center, which is really pleasing.
That's fantastic. You beat out a whole bunch of other people whose jobs it is to be contact centers too. Yeah?
That's right. You know, and look, I think, you know, for a university to be recognized, you know, in terms of what we're doing over some of the, you know, larger government agencies and health insurers is a real testament to the teams that are working together. And the chatbot's a really good example of, I think we have about 9 or 10 bots now going. And in terms of the deflection that we're seeing from the contact center to those lower cost channels, and now being able to take them deeper, reaching into the systems of record, pulling out student grades, you know, things like that, you know, makes the bots more intelligent and makes the bots more useful. So yeah, it's a really, really great team, that experimentation team, and a really good collaboration with the business.
Totally, and we're actually ahead of time, so I want to maybe throw you a little bit of a curveball, if that's okay.
Go for it.
So we know that chatbots are like, you know, the flavor of the month, you know, and it sounds like you guys have a really good handle on it. Experimentation was key. You know, what else can you tell us for people who want to embark on this, who maybe, you know, like at the starting point, so they're not that ready to go and say, build an experimentation team or put out 9 or 10 chatbots. If they were starting, what advice would you give them?
So you need to start small. Pick a use case that you do have the answers for. So we started with the Q&A bot. I think it's where most organizations start. So we literally mapped out the questions and the answers. Very quickly you'll see that you won't be able to manage that. It'll become unmanageable. You'll have a tree of answers. You have a small army of people trying to manage all of the questions and the answers across all those questions. And what you'll find is that you need to let the team grapple and you need to let the team fail with that, and that's okay. Because what they will do is they will start self-learning and finding ways to mature the capability. So a lot of our bots, we've trialed different NLP engines in the back end. We've landed on one as our enterprise NLP engine that we then add on top of that other one. So we're starting to move some of the customer service bots that are fully integrated into the Salesforce experience. We're starting to move some of them to Einstein bots, with that now being available. And it's okay to have multiple engines, but you just need to understand which one is going to be used for which use case in the organization. So start small, let the team grapple with it, let them struggle with it, because what that will do is it'll force them to then find ways to grow and learn and own it. And don't try and go straight to creating the master bot, right? The enterprise brain of everything. Be really discreet with the use cases. And think really carefully about which channels you're going to go over. So we started on the web channel. We targeted one use case, which was exam results. So when students do their exams, the university releases all of the results. We get a lot of a spike, very high spike in inquiries. What do? I failed. Who do I talk to? I need special consideration. What do these grades mean? We get a very high spike in inquiries. They're seasonal. So we really targeted that use case, and we went back through all of our historical data in Salesforce, pulled out what the top 20 questions were, piloted it, refined it. The second time we ran it, the second seasonal trend, we saw about an 85-90% success rate. It was amazing.
That's incredible. So it's really inspiring that you guys, you built this team that are willing to experiment. You let them experiment, and usually experiments sometimes fail, which is great. But you don't you're giving them the space to kind of grow into it, which is very, very interesting. And of course, I think all of this really culminates with the fact that you're a customer service center now, best in class customer service center. So congratulations for that. And thank you very, very much for what you do with us. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thoroughly deserving of congratulations because they're doing so much. But I think the one thing I want to kind of touch on, which Josh has spoken about, is the fact that, don't go for the master, experiment, try different things, and they've got different technologies and applying different layers. And this actually applies just as much to us in Salesforce because I don't know, how many of you have been to our customer event in San Francisco called Dreamforce? Yeah, it's only slightly bigger than this one, 175,000 people, so only slightly bigger. But we had 175,000 people that would want to engage with us, with very basic things, like where do I find this location, where's breakout C, where's breakout B, and so we needed to engage. But even as a vendor, we need help. We needed to understand how to run bots effectively and how to be able to engage with the customer, putting you guys in the center and understanding how you want to engage. So we got the help of one of our vendors. They were a vendor. They're also a customer, and they're a partner now. So we're super fortunate to have Tomer from GRONADE to come and tell us a little bit more about how that happened. Let's welcome him.
Thanks, May. Cheers. Thanks. Hey, everyone. I founded GRONADE about 3.5 years ago to bring the future of work to industries all over. And really, the future of work being the ability to deliver on customer expectations and customer service in a much better way. The way that we've defined that is future of work applications. These are essentially applications which optimize operations and accelerate decision making. What that manifests itself as is data and AI solutions and that are implemented across an organization to counter the inefficiency of human labor and the human decision making that is required to achieve a positive outcome for customers. For Dreamforce customers, this actually means we help to optimize Einstein, we help to build custom data solutions in Heroku, and we help the organization get more out of service delivery and customer experience as a whole. Bots are a very interesting intersection of this, considering it can be considered AI, and AI is a combination of things. It's machine learning, natural language processing, and deep learning, and most chatbots that I've ever used, they suck. They suck really bad, and I don't know, I'm sure everyone shares that opinion. They suck because most chatbots are built with an assumption of how the customers will interact with that bot. They're built with the intention that, it's a good intention, we're going to build this bot, and people are going to interact with this in this particular way, and they're going to ask the bot these particular questions, and we're going to spit out these particular answers. And we all know that that typically fails because we couldn't possibly understand every single iteration of a way somebody would ask to find, say, access to their account. And so, knowing this, we partnered with the Dreamforce team in San Francisco to help optimized the Dreamforce Bot, which facilitated the launch of bots in general. And the idea was to understand and appreciate the fact that the bot won't be perfect on day one. It won't. And of all of the utterances that individuals would ask this bot, it might fail to deliver on their expectations. It might go, I don't know. By understanding this and accepting that, we were actually able to work very closely with the Dreamforce team, us based here, and Dreamforce being in the US, their day kind of intersects, or their day's end really intersects with the beginning of our days. So the way that we did this was to watch what happened when people interacted with a bot, and we would essentially watch pretty much all day and identify at the end of the day all of the exceptions of the queries that people would ask that bot that the bot had failed to facilitate an answer for or an accurate answer for. We would get a data dump of that at the end of every day. So we got the data dump at the end of the first day. And once we had that data dump, we were actually able to apply natural language processing to that data and cluster each of the utterances, each of the intents, each of the queries by their intention. So, I'm thirsty, I want a drink, where can I buy a coffee? All of these things kind of mean the same thing. So being able to understand what humans are requesting of the bot itself allowed us to programmatically cluster those things by their intention. And if you were going to do that manually, that would take a very long time. It'd be a hell of a job. But what we were able to do was take that data, cluster it, and then feed that back into the bot overnight. And the bot magically got smarter the next day. Now when somebody asked a question that particular way, the bot was able to handle it. And Dreamforce really only went for, say, 5 days. And so we really only got 5 days of optimization in this, or actually four nights of optimization, if you think about it. But if you can see in the bottom right square, you can actually see correct versus confused utterances. And on the 5th day, we were actually able to achieve a significant improvement in the performance of that bot handling requests, natural requests from attendees of Dreamforce. And this is a very good way to train and get your bot to perform better over time, is to understand that it isn't perfect, launch when it isn't perfect, and launch to potentially a testing ground of individuals who are okay with that. Not saying, if you're an organization that has, millions of customers, to launch it to everybody, because that might not work too well, but you pick your best customers, you launch the bot to them, you allow them to interact with it, and you start to grow the confidence that that bot is able to handle more and more requests as time goes on. And the reason we do that, the reason why we would train a bot, is to improve our ability to serve customers. The reason we do that is because we want to cut the cost of customer service down, and we want to speed up the distance between a customer's query and the result that they're trying to get. And so if we're unable to do that, if the bot is failing to do that, the bot actually looks like a failure. But the idea is that how do we actually contain our customers into a programmatic environment and to potentially solve a lot of the queries. You can't solve all of them, but a lot of the queries end-to-end programmatically. And so we worked with another organization to do this in a different way. The way that I spoke about Dreamforce, that's one way we can train it on a daily basis. Another way is to go, well, my organization, we have a history of customer service, and one of our customers is a major bank, and they have a history of phone calls, a history of live agent chats, a history of email support. That is a massive treasure trove of data. What you can do is you can get those phone calls and you can transcribe them into text. And you've got the email support, you've got the live agent chat support. And the idea is that you have this wealth of customer queries and the way customers initiate requests for support differ in so many different ways. And the nuances of how that conversation goes, you can actually see that in the conversation. And then they have a very particular solution that gets put out at the end. And so by taking this foundation of data, we're able to apply the same thing, natural language processing, to this and achieve a much better, a much more intelligent foundation for bot intelligence from even day one of bot launch. And that's how you make chatbots suck less, in my opinion. Thanks.
Thank you, Tomer. That was great. Okay, we're at the end of our session here, but I just want to let you guys know that we have more great service goodness today. Please check out our keynote from Dreamforce, Customer Success in the New Age of Service, at noon. Get your badge scanned once again if you want to get more content. And then we have this incredible growing community, 20,000 plus service trailblazers. Join a community and start networking with other service trailblazers. Thank you so much for coming out today, and enjoy the rest of the World Tour.